What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Welcome back to another episode of Predict the Prem, where me and my brother go head-to-head in predicting Premier League outcomes. We've got our scores on the doors at the moment, which are 112 to 97. And the way the scoring works, it is 5 points for a completely correct scoreline and 1 point for a correct result. And we also have our star man. Once you pick them once, you cannot pick them again, and it's 5 points for a goal, 3 points for an assist. And let's get straight into it with Leeds against Bournemouth. I've gone for 2-1 to Leeds. Sim's gone for 3-0 to Leeds. And what's your thinking behind it?
I just think Leeds finally got that win they've been calling for against Liverpool last week. And I think their performances have always been fairly decent, especially at home. If they perform like they did against Arsenal, against this Bournemouth side, they're really going to suffocate them. And I think they have good quality there in the forward areas to really punish Bournemouth going forward. And I also think their pressing system could pen Bournemouth in. And Bournemouth now, they were 6 unbeaten, but now it's 4 without a win in 3 losses in a row. And I think, I know they played fairly well against us for the opening hour, 2-0 up and everything. They did end up succumbing to defeat, and now probably they'll lose a bit of confidence for getting the loss there. So I think Leeds... well, with them being full of confidence, I expect them to come out strong. So I'm going with 3-0.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup, this one, to be honest, with Bournemouth with 3 losses on the bounce now. They haven't really got battered in any of those games. I mean, they just about lost to West Ham with a last-minute goal to make it 2-0. They lost to Southampton at home 1-0, and obviously us 3-2, scoring a goal at the death. So I think when you're looking at it, Leeds have been fairly impressive the last couple of weeks. Obviously, a really good performance against Arsenal and beating Liverpool at Anfield. But I think Bournemouth will actually provide a bit of a test for them this weekend. So I've just gone for Leeds just to nick it. But I think it's going to be a good game of football, and 2 teams at a similar level probably going at it. So I've gone for 2-1 to Leeds. Let's move on and let's talk about Man City against Fulham. Sim's gone for 2-0 to Man City, and I have gone for 3-1 to Man City. Fulham always seem to find a goal from somewhere, with Mitrovic being on fire this season. But can you really look past Man City at home against one of the promoted seed teams? Probably not. And probably, I don't know if Erling Haaland's back this weekend, but even if he's not back, I still expect the scoreline to be a similar result.
Yeah, I don't think he's been in training last few days. Obviously didn't play in midweek, so I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be fully fit. But obviously Man City, whether they have him or not, they're going to have the quality to win. I'm just backing them to get the clean sheet. I think Fulham, to be fair, they're pretty decent going forward, and if from set pieces they can be a big threat. But I just think the way City play, I can see them pressing really hard at the pitch, and Mitrovic getting little joy trying to break that offside trap. So that's why I've gone for a clean sheet for Man City 2-0.
All right, next up is Forest against Brentford. Sim's gone for 2-1 to Forest. I've gone for 1-1 here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Brentford don't have the best away record, albeit when they do play at home, they seem to be playing well. But recently, they've haven't got some great results away from home. Forest, they got battered last week by Arsenal, but they did beat Liverpool at home a couple of weeks ago in a decent display. So they should take that confidence at home that they could, if you can beat Liverpool at home, you will have that bit of confidence going to next home game, and the crowd should be behind them. So I've got them to just nick a win here. Maybe against the form books.
Yeah, I think that Brentford haven't won a game away from home all season. In the last 2 away games, they've been absolutely battered by Newcastle and Aston Villa. And I think there's going to be a bit of a response from Brentford in this game, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win the game. Like you say, I think Forest will come into this game with their tails up after beating Liverpool at home. But I think a tough nut to crack in Brentford will hold them to a 1-1 draw, because I don't think there is too much quality there for Forest. So, yeah, I've gone for 1-1 here. But next up is Wolves against Brighton. Both of us have gone for 2-0 to Brighton. Wolves are probably, the worst team in the Premier League on form at the moment. They really are. They're getting battered week in, week out. The manager change hasn't seemed to have changed anything. In fact, it might have made things even worse. They don't have any strikers at the moment. I think Diego Costa might be suspended for this one. And Brighton, on the back of a 4-1 win against Chelsea, and on the back of that, they've been performing well, not getting results, but they finally got the result against Chelsea. I can see them getting 2 wins in a row here, and I can't really see Wolves getting a goal, so 2-0.
Yeah, even with Diego Costa, they found it very difficult to get on the score sheet without it being a penalty or a bit of magic from Neves. So now with no strikers, the player Neto's obviously injured as well on the wing, so they're relying on players who are really porous in front of goal for goals at the moment. And Brighton, I know under De Zerbi they've been very attacking, but I just can't see where the goals are coming from for Wolves, and I can see Brighton having a few moments where they're opening up Wolves, and that's why I've gone for them just to nick the goals and get the 2-0 victory.
All right, let's move on to Everton against Leicester. Sim's gone 2-2. I've gone 1-1. What are you thinking about this one?
Yeah, I just think Everton have been very pragmatic, especially away from home. But they need to start picking up some wins. They beat Palace 3-0 in their last home game. Then they went very pragmatic and got the 0-0 next game. But I think they're going to be a bit more open to try and attack Leicester because they need. It's all well and good ticking over with draws and stuff, but you need to get wins when you can. So I can see it being open, and open could suit Leicester a bit because they got good attacking talent, and obviously with Maddison and Barnes, and they're improving their form as well. They did lose their last game, only 1-0 at home too, but they won the previous two. So I can see a fairly open 2-2 draw here.
Yeah, I kind of see it a bit opposite to that, to be honest. I think that Leicester, they've only conceded, as much as they've been shocking defensively for most part of the season, they have started to turn it around a little bit with only 1 goal conceded in their last 4 games. On the other hand, Everton have been very pragmatic, as you say, all season, not conceding too many goals, not winning too many games, not losing too many games, but drawing quite a few games. And at Goodison Park, I don't think they're gonna go for it, and I think you're going to see the similar Everton style as you've seen most season. I think they'll know, Frank Lampard will know that Leicester have got the firepower that can really hurt Everton. So I don't think they will play any sort of expansive football or stuff like that. I think it will still be pragmatic from Everton, and I think they'll cause very frustrating to break down from Leicester. But I can see a goal apiece here, so I've gone for 1-1. Next up is Chelsea-Arsenal. Sim's gone 2-1. I've gone 2-2. Arsenal seem to have Chelsea's number a bit at Stamford Bridge last couple of years, with Chelsea not getting a result. But with Aubameyang with a point to prove, hopefully, with Chelsea on the back of a 4-1 hiding to Brighton, hopefully they're going to look to try and turn things around. Arsenal have been obviously on very good form, but I'm going on 2-2 more than hope than anything. But I actually probably think Arsenal are going to win this game.
You reckon? Away from home, look, you can't take out home advantage in these London derbies. I know last couple of years Arsenal have beaten Chelsea, but under very different circumstances both times. Graham Potter's a really good tinkerer, and he'll know different ways how to hurt Arsenal, I reckon, especially at home with the crowd behind them. I reckon the energy levels will be up. Saka as well could be missing. I don't know if he's going to be fit and available for this game after going out injured for the last one. And if he is out injured, that's one of their main attacking threats, taking out the firing line. And Chelsea, for all their faults, definitely have the firepower to hurt Arsenal going the other way. So I've gone for them to sneak it 2-1.
Yeah, I just haven't been impressed with Potter's Chelsea, really.
More away from home. Away from home, they've been terrible, but at home, they're still okay.
They've been getting the results, to be honest. They have been getting the results, but still... remains to be seen if they can get a result against Arsenal, probably the most.
I mean, they won a great run of form up until recently, and then they played Villa. They just about won, but they were really poor. And since then, the away results have been bad. But you can't just take away all the good football they were playing before that.
I mean, it's been a while since then. Villa was 6 games ago now. It's been a lot of football played since then, and they haven't really played well since then. I know they got a draw against Manchester United at Stamford Bridge, but even then I thought Man United outplayed them in the first half. Chelsea did come back into it a bit in the second half, but I mean, I haven't been impressed at all, to be honest, apart from a couple of games here and there before that 6 games ago.
Fair enough.
Moving on to Aston Villa against Manchester United. I've gone for 2-1 to Man United. Sim's gone for 1-1. What are you thinking?
Now it is Unai Emery's first game. I thought it was last week, but it is this week. He's taken a charge at the helm at Aston Villa, and I think he's going to want to make a big impression. Their first game, also at Man United as well, playing on Thursday night. And actually, I'm not sure if they're going to go strong or not, but I know they need a victory if they're going to finish top of the group. So I actually expect them to go fairly strong, because you probably don't want to finish second in that Europa League group, because then you could probably face some Champions League teams dropping in. So with that being said, if they do go strong, I expect some tired legs, and I expect definitely the energy levels for Villa to go up in this game, looking to impress their new manager. And they've got quality, and if he can squeeze some more quality out of them in this game, I expect to be a better performance. Having said that, Man United are still a better team, so I do expect them to cause Villa trouble as well. But I've gone 1-1.
Yeah, I got a feeling it might take this Villa squad a bit of time to acclimatise to the way Unai Emery plays his football. I don't know if the players in the squad are actually suited to that kind of football. I think they might be suited to a bit more of an expansive game. But in his first game, it will be a tough game for Manchester United, especially at Villa Park. And I've just gone for Man United just to nick it. I think it could be a late show from Man United or something like that, 1-1 going into the latter stages. But I think Man U will have just a tiny bit too much quality here for Unai Emery in his first game. But moving on to Southampton, Newcastle. Sim has gone for 1-0 to Newcastle. I've gone for 3-1 to Newcastle. I think Southampton at home, they always seem to find a goal from somewhere. And I know Newcastle do have the best defensive record in the league, but I can see Southampton nicking one. But I think Newcastle will be way too strong, as they have been against everyone really recently.
Yeah, I think Newcastle will just go over the line. I do anticipate a fairly tight game because the Southampton side have really shorn things up over the last few games. There's only been 1-1 or 1-0 wins in their last 4 games. So I think Newcastle, with their defensive record, will fancy their chances of keeping a clean sheet here against a Southampton side who haven't scored many goals recently. And I also think with the quality they have, they'll find a goal either through Wilson or a good ball from Trippier or Alma on banger. I've gone for a 1-0 victory it was going to be a tricky away game for Newcastle, but they'll get over the line.
All right, next up is West Ham against Crystal Palace. Sim's gone for 1-1. I've gone for 1-0 to West Ham. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it should be a very cagey game. Obviously, West Ham also playing on Thursday, so I'm not sure how strong they're going to go on Thursday, but there may be some tired legs. Palace, away from home, haven't been so great, but they've only lost 1 in their last 5, but it was a 3-0 defeat away at Everton. But I think they'll want to right the wrongs of that game because they were absolutely atrocious, and they do definitely have the talent to maybe hurt West Ham going forward on the counter-attack. West Ham, on the other hand, they've been pretty decent at home recently, so I definitely see a good start from them, but I think maybe with the tired legs, I think Palace could end the game stronger, so I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
West Ham with 3 clean sheets in the last 5 home games. Crystal Palace haven't scored in their last 3 away games. So I think I've been impressed with West Ham recently. They've been playing well. I know in a couple of the big games they haven't got the results over the line, like against Manchester United, like against Liverpool. But I do think they have played well in those games and they deserved more out of the games. So I think when Palace come to town, I don't think they're on such great form, especially away from home. So I've just gone for West Ham to nick it 1-0 here. And the last but not least, Tottenham against Liverpool. Sim has gone 1-1. I've gone 1-0 to Spurs. And I think we're going to set up and frustrate Liverpool. Liverpool with a team that are lacking firepower at the moment with quite a few injuries. Spurs, on the other hand, as well, lacking firepower and with a few injuries. So I don't think this is going to be your classic Spurs-Liverpool game, but I think both teams are going to frustrate each other, and hopefully Spurs with Harry Kane can find a goal from somewhere.
Yeah, the problem with the difference between Spurs and Liverpool is Liverpool are missing Diaz, Jota, and who else they're missing? Diaz, Jota, and I can't remember who else, but they've still got Nunes, Firmino, Elliott, Carvalho, and Salah to pick from. Spurs literally have Kane and Lucas right now, so there is.
Hill.
Yeah, I guess you could say Ryan Hill as well, but he doesn't seem to want to start him. It's like slim pickings at the moment from Spurs. I really see it being difficult for us to the way Liverpool play,
And
really
Højbjerg.
pushing high. I think the way Liverpool play, pushing high to the halfway line, with lacking pace in behind without Son now, I see it being very difficult for Spurs to hurt Liverpool like they did maybe last season at home when we had Kane and Son and fully firing. I do expect maybe a goal from a set piece, and I think the way we defend, we can keep it tight and frustrate Liverpool. But I find it hard to see Spurs winning this with the firepower we have up front. So I've gone for 1-1.
All right, and let's move over to the star men. Sim has gone for Kevin De Bruyne. He's gone for a big hitter this weekend, trying to claim some points back. And I've gone for Callum Wilson away at Southampton. So it's going to be a big matchup in the star men this weekend.
100%. I haven't picked. Yeah, I need to start picking more City players. So. De Bruyne home to Fulham. He off the back of a great free kick. He scored last week, and then he didn't start in midweek, so hopefully he'll be fresh. He actually came on and got an assist, so hopefully he's fit and firing for the Fulham game.
Heard De Bruyne is going to be benched this weekend. That's
Is that
what
right?
That's what I heard.
You'd be so lucky.
Well, when I picked De Bruyne, he got benched. But anyway, that is your Prick the Prem this week. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Let us know who you think is going to come out on top, me and Sim, and put your predictions in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
Come on, you Spurs.